everybody, it's me, John Ward, and I am back with another Two Filmmakers review one film. And today I am here with the man, the legend, the dude, the guy, the presence, Phillip Trickey.
It is true. I do abide. The dude abides. So, how you doing? Good to be here with you, and looking forward to talking about an interesting movie. But it's always fun chatting it up, talking movies, and whatever random tangents we get onto. So it's a pleasure to be here.
Well, thank you. And thanks for being here. And you're basically the reason why we are here. It is I said that I was watching this, and then you said that you were going to watch it and maybe we could do a video. And I'm not sure if that's when I was watching it or like I was about to watch it. But I'm like, oh yeah, sure. I'm always down. No, I think it was when I was watching it because I I'm going to be honest with people right up front. This thing was boring as fuck. And I thought it was well made. If you follow my channel, you know that I have a massive crush on Emma Roberts. So that's really the only reason why I stuck it out. And knowing that we were going to be doing this video, um, good performances. It was well made. You know, I like the music, but god damn, nothing happens in this. And I was so looking forward to this. I've heard about it for like a year, and I finally got down to watching it. And so I asked you after you watched it, please do not tell me your feelings. Don't talk to me about this. Let's do it here. So this is the first time I'm hearing anything from this, on this movie from you. So please take it away.
So, the interesting thing about this particular movie, The Blackcoat's Daughter, I had never heard of it until, a week and a half ago when I was at the theater with my good friend Jose Prendes, who is a movie director, directed The Exorcists, starring Doug Bradley last year, directed Monster Squad, starring Michael Madsen, and many other amazing films. He did one of his best, one of my favorites is The Haunting of the Whaley House from years ago. But he is a great friend, and he is also a YouTuber. Master Chaos is his YouTube handle. He does a lot of videos. If anybody is interested in the Vinegar Syndrome or the Seven, the boutique labels when they have their sales, he does videos and gets a lot of views, has a lot of people watching his videos, going through the new releases, the movies that are coming out. So great guy, a lot of fun, very knowledgeable, very knowledgeable. That's what's so important about knowing Jose, who he is. Now, I was at the theater with Jose and Wet Movie One to see Longlegs, and we watched it, and I asked them both, as well as there was another guy coming out of the theater that we knew when we were going in. He started to talk about the movie. I went la 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 and ran off because I wanted to go in. I had not seen a trailer, didn't know anything about it aside from the fact that Nicolas Cage was going to be in it. And again, of course, I'm talking about Longlegs. We saw this a week and a half ago when it came out. Now, after the movie was over, I walked out, and my Longlegs review is on my channel. You could find it very easily if you just go to my channel.
I will add a link to it down below.
Okay. Thank you. But after the movie was over, Master Chaos, Jose Prendes, told me that this was kind of like, I don't remember if he said sequel or prequel, but he said it was like in the universe, it was affiliated with the Blackcoat's Daughter. I had never heard of the Blackcoat's Daughter before he mentioned it that day. So I said, oh, that's interesting. I'll have to watch that. And so it was on the list. I've been meaning to watch it. When I saw that you were going to watch it last night, I said, you know what a perfect time to watch that. I was editing all night, and I was like, I need a break. I need to get away. And so went over, moved from this chair to the couch, watched the movie. And yes, I will dive into it in just a second. But there is a connection, and it took almost all of the Blackcoat's daughter for me to be able to kind of figure out what the connection was. And I even Googled it to do a little bit of research just on what the connection was. Was I seeing this right? Because one thing I learned about Longlegs, and this definitely applies to the Blackcoat's daughter, is there are undertones, there are things going on right in front of your face that you may not pick up on. And that, to me, I understand what they were trying to be artsy fartsy with this, and keep us all guessing and talking about it, have that element of mystery, and that's fine. But I think they went too far with it until the very end. And had I not seen Longlegs and kind of understood what was going on in this universe, I would have walked away from Blackcoat's daughter going, what the fuck was that? But like, what did I just watch? Now, there are, toward the end, some kind of crazy action, violent, horror things that happen in the Blackcoat's daughter. And it's funny because the pacing and the flow of the film for the Blackcoat's daughter is very similar to Longlegs, where you get 2/3 of the film is this buildup that's boring as shit to bring it all together to have this end where there's some violence or horror, scary things that happen. I've seen people say that Longlegs is a scary movie. I've seen people say that the Blackcoat's daughter is supposed to be the scariest movie of the century. No, none of that's remotely accurate. I will tell you this. When I walked out of Longlegs, I was not really frustrated with the film because, like a lot of the things that you had said, production value was great. The actors did great. The settings, the locations, visually, it was pleasing to watch. It was just a boring story. So I felt the same way, a lot of the same feelings about Longlegs as you had for the Blackcoat's daughter. Now, I think watching the Blackcoat's daughter, I have an advantage over you in the sense that I kind of understood this world a little bit, and maybe it wasn't as like I don't know that I would have recognized some of these things if I hadn't kind of been brought up to speed with watching Longlegs and reading and talking about it with some other people. Is that when we get this girl at the beginning of the Blackcoat's daughter, and can I tell you this? I did think Blackcoat's daughter was boring. It also, I agree with you that it was very boring at parts, and it was so tedious that I kept confusing the actress Kat and Kiernan Shipka, who played, well, it's Kiernan Shipka who plays Kat, and Emma Roberts, Joan. I kept confusing their two characters. I was like, is this a flashback? Is Emma Roberts like a little bit older Kat? Like, are Joan and Kat the same character? What's going on? I some of that I didn't understand, but after getting to the end, I kind of figured it all out. But it was frustrating and tough at times. But if I'm wondering if you picked up on this, because right away after seeing Longlegs, know what I knew, I picked up on when they were in the school and the two girls are sitting there, and you have, like, I don't know, headmaster or whatever that guy was that was telling her, well, you're going to stay at school. And she's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to stay at school. And then, he ends up leaving or whatever. And to this point, I don't know 100% it was Kat, the one with the mind control, or was what was his name? Was it Mr. Gordon? I think it was Mr. Gordon. Or maybe Father Brian. I think it was Father Brian, the headmaster guy. I don't know if it was Kat or the father that had the mind control. That was when they were saying, you're going to stay here. And then she's like, I'm going to stay here. One of them was doing mind control on the other, and it was like their satanic powers. And we see throughout the film the shadows of Satan in the background, or what looks like Krampus, kind of the shadows in the background. But understanding that, and that some of these people were under mind control, like throughout the film, kind of explained what some of it, like what was going on. And I would have never picked up on that. I would have just thought this is an awkward conversation. But because I had just seen Longlegs, and hearing that these are like same universe, and reading, I'm gathering almost that the Blackcoat's daughter is not a sequel to Longlegs, but actually like a prequel. I had heard sequel, prequel. I don't know. There is one character, or I should say one actress, that is in both films, and that is Kat. But Kat is the girl that, like, well, spoiler alert, like a lot of shit revolves around her in the Blackcoat's daughter. Now Kiernan Shipka, is also in Longlegs, but her character has a different name. It's like Carmen or Karen or something. It's not Kat. So I don't know if she's supposed to be the same person but older in Longlegs, or what the deal is. I don't know. Or maybe if Longlegs takes place before, is she a young girl from Longlegs that ends up in this? I don't know, but she has a different name. So because of that, and not knowing about this like mind control shit without finding out through watching Longlegs, I would have been really frustrated like you were. Now, it was still long, it was still boring, but it was so well shot, and knowing what I was getting into made it a little bit easier for me to swallow. So did you know about the mind control thing? And give you a minute to respond to kind of some of the stuff I've thrown out there.
Nothing at all. I looked up on Wikipedia. I saw that there was nothing that talked about a connection. I heard that there was some sort of connection, maybe, but it's for me, being an Emma Roberts fan, I wanted to see this, and of course she's, she does a fair amount of horror films, and so I wanted to watch it for a long time, and I forgot that it was Oz Perkins. And even with Longlegs, I'm like, oh shit, that's Oz Perkins. And I didn't, I keep forgetting that he makes movies. And so I thought, okay, well, this should be interesting. And everybody talked about how scary the movie was and how great the movie is. And I'm just sitting there. Okay, so I'm the type of guy, when I'm in my car and somebody's making a turn, like a right-hand turn, I'm yelling in my car, make the fucking turn. Move! Yeah. Your car isn't gonna flip over. Go! And because I'm trying to go straight. So that was my reaction to watching this was, oh my God, can we please go to the next shot? Yeah. Can we? And it was driving me nuts that the girl would just be, okay, what is going on? She's just sitting there staring. She's just sitting there staring. There's nothing going on. And I felt that way throughout. And I didn't get anything with mind control. I got that maybe she just was repeating stuff. And then there's and people, and I did read on the some stuff on the internet by people saying like the film is confusion because there's different like time in it. And I'm like, no, there's only two. There's what we think is present day, but is actually the past. And then Emma Roberts' character is actually present day. And so I'm like, I don't understand why you guys are confused. It's pretty simple to figure out. But yeah, I just, it was driving me nuts. With just like, do something, do anything. And then we finally get that weird back crack that the one girl does when she's in her bed. And I'm like, okay, that was like 20 minutes into the movie, and then another 20 minutes goes by and nothing happens. And I'm like, oh my God, it's like a bunch of small things that are happening.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I can't, it was driving me nuts. And I'm like, why is Emma Roberts not in this movie?
Yeah.
She's barely in it. And I'm like, I'm going to keep watching. Maybe somehow they intersect and she becomes a bigger part of the film. And it's like, okay, did they only have her for like 2 days or 3 days? So it's, but I think the film was beautifully shot. I like kind of its one location thing with the school. I thought the performances were really good. And I get what he's doing. It's A24, so it's going to be arty. It's going to be, some people are going to
Yeah.
love it, some people are going to hate it. But it's no, I didn't get any, because then there's an exorcism at the end, and I'm like, oh, she's possessed. All
Yeah.
right, well, at least something's happening.
Yeah.
And I guess the demon or whatever was inside her jumped into another hot blonde girl, which would be Emma Roberts.
Yeah.
So,
Well, so now because of, and I apologize for cutting you off, but
no,
so
I was basically
because of my confusion with, are we jumping forward in time? What's going on? Like when we jump forward to James Remar and them talking about their daughter that was killed, and then once we find out that it was Kat that killed like James Remar's daughter, and then but she's in the back seat, and then we kind of learn that I had to Google this right now just to confirm it, and on IMDb it does say that Kat and Joan are the same character. So as she's older, so Emma Roberts and Kiernan Shipka, their two characters are the same person, just at two different time periods. So
they don't look at all alike.
to me, I was kind of confused by him. So I kind of disagree in a sense, and maybe just for the simple, you know, the way they were doing their hair or whatever. But when she was younger and she kills the nuns and she kills Rose, so she kills the two whatever sister, boy, their names are not even really listed on here. Miss Prescott and Miss Drake, I believe. She kills them, and then she kills Rose, and she's like in the basement and got their three heads lined up on the ground. The cop comes in and she's got this knife, and the cop's like, put the knife down, and he's got a gun pointed toward her and everything. Well, he shoots. This is my problem with this movie. If we're supposed to go through the movie and go, okay, this little nugget adds up and this little nugget adds up, and we're supposed to take all these little nuggets that we get throughout the movie to add them up to figure out she's possessed by the devil, she has mind control, she is telling the Father Brian, I'm going to stay here at the school. Father Brian's like, you're going to stay here at the school, because he's being brainwashed by her because she's possessed. If we're supposed to go through and pick up all these little nuggets, what are we supposed to do with the nugget when the cop shoots Kat? You know, she turns around, she's got the knife, he puts a bullet through her, or a shotgun slug through her. But then she's okay later?
She's got the, I just remembered this. Emma Roberts has the bullet hole through her shoulder.
Okay. You know
so
what? And
when she's
right.
in the shower, yeah, and she's got
right.
the towel, you see that
Yeah.
there's a bullet thing here, like
Okay.
a wound,
So
but we don't see the young girl who kills everybody. We don't see her actually get shot. We just hear the gunshot.
We hear the gunshot. Yeah. So, and I guess that's, my thought was, from that close with what appeared to be a shotgun. I could be wrong. It could have been a rifle. I'd have to go back and look again. But a shotgun would have put a hole like this big through her. There's no surviving a shotgun blast from that close. I'm going to see if I can find a.
Well, to let people know, so it takes place. The film was originally called February, and so it takes place in February in the snow at a girls' school. They're closing up for a week. Everybody's gone away except for like 5 people. So you got the priest who's there for a little bit, and then he leaves because he has like a personal thing to do. And then we have our two main girls that are there: a senior, a brunette, and then our main girl who's like all possessed who has blonde hair, and then there's
So
like
in
two
the
sisters.
brunette is Rose, and the blonde hair is Kat. And what confused me was seeing the third girl pop up, but the third girl being Emma Roberts, being Joan. Joan is Kat, but just in the future. So it's, if you watch it, you have to understand.
Have to watch this again. This is
Yeah,
because then
Joan is in the future.
and when I say when I say two sisters, I don't mean like brother sisters and type of thing. It's two. We have the priest, and then we have two sisters that are there.
Yeah.
Who, for some reason, Rose points out that they are bald and they wear wigs. I originally thought maybe they were gay, or maybe they were lesbians or something, because they seem to maybe live together or hang out, or I don't know. They seem to be very close.
I don't
And
understand the emphasis on the, oh, they have no hair on their body. I didn't pick up. I don't know.
yeah, there's no hair anywhere on their body. So unless maybe that has a ritual type of thing to do with it. And
Yeah, some religious
God,
aspect.
I'm gonna see. I wanted to buy this movie because of Emma Roberts, basically, but now I would probably buy it for Oz Perkins, who is Anthony Perkins' son. Oh, so let me tell. I had a weird experience with. I don't know if it was him. So we are talking in my 20s when I was in Marin County. I put out an ad. This is when there was no internet. So you had to put out ads in like casting papers. And I had a guy call me and he goes, "Hey, I'm Oz Perkins. I'm Anthony Perkins' son. And I saw your ad. And I thought it'd be fun to act in your film." And he came over to my house, which was my mom's house. And I had my friends over who were working on the film. And he was there and he kind of looked like, I don't know, like blue jeans with the chain hanging down. And he had like the work boots on and kind of like the slick back hair. Kind of looked like a greaser in a way. And
Okay.
he was telling us, yeah, that he's Anthony Perkins' son.
Huh.
And he was telling us all these stories about Anthony Perkins. And a couple hours later, he left. And I said, okay, I'll give you a call. And we didn't know what to make of it. We just thought it was really weird that Anthony Perkins' son would want to be in something shot on VHS, because that's what
Yeah.
we were shooting on at the time. So, and we weren't sure if it was him or not, because you can't really look in stuff. Like today, I looked to
Yeah.
see if it was him. And it
Yeah.
says that he's 50 years old. I don't know how old this guy was. I was in my 20s. So I don't think it was him. I think it's maybe somebody posing, but that's kind
Yeah.
of a weird son to be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess it's hard to check back then. So I don't know. I either auditioned Anthony Perkins' son or a guy pretending to be Anthony Perkins' son.
That's funny. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is funny because I am the same age as Oz Perkins, born the same year. Um, so I mean, age wise, when you were back in your 20s, if he looked your age or a little bit younger, like a year or two or three, it's plausible that it was him. But now, I wonder, how would you go about finding out where, did he live in that area or whatever? But obviously, as you know, that area had its fair share of well-to-do or celebrities that you encountered up there. So
Yeah,
I
which
mean,
is
it is
Northern
within
California, the Bay Area. Yeah.
the realm of possibility that it was him. But yeah, no, that's one of the beauty, people nowadays. Here I am sounding like an old man. These kids nowadays will never understand. before having a phone and going like, oh, is this, and I mean, basically we're at the point now where you could just pick up your phone, take a picture of somebody and ask Google, who is this? And it can tell you. So back in the day, it was, you were guessing. And so it's hard to say, but that is an interesting story, irregardless.
Yes, irregardlessly, it is a weird story. It is. I got to tell you, with irregardless, as much as I love Roger Corman and as much as he's a genius and an incredibly smart person, I did see an interview with him and he went, irregardless. I went, no, God, no,
Yeah.
stop.
Well,
Don't say irregardless, Roger. Please don't. So,
I you were the first person I thought of when I heard this. But one, it always makes the news every year. And I don't remember if it was this past year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whenever. But they add words to the dictionary every year. And within the last few years, irregardless was added
oh
as an
no,
acceptable
I
word.
guess
Yes.
it's, I never even heard of the word until Family Guy. And it
Yeah.
was the two-parter, like Stewie kills Lois, Lois kills Stewie, and he's in the White House and he gives his demands because he's now like ruler of the world. And he
Yes.
said like words that you cannot say, irregardless. And I went, why is that? It's the opposite. If it's irregardless, that means it's the
It's
opposite of,
regarding. It's regarding.
yeah. And then I found out later, like, no, that's not even a word. And
Yeah.
then I saw in a movie where somebody said, like, oh, I couldn't date her because she kept using irregardless as a word. And I'm like, oh fuck, it's why are people using
Yes.
irregardless? So, but we're irregardless, to get back to this. I have an interest in Oz Perkins, on a few different levels. And of course, like I said, and Emma Roberts, but I just wanted, like, I love the beginning. It's we're seeing the snow. We have like the ice covered lake, and the camera is slowly moving in. It's slowly pushing in on the snow, and then it's handheld on our main girl in bed, and she's kind of
Yeah.
moving around a little bit. The camera, and then it goes back, and it's moving in a little bit. No, 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 no. I take that back. The camera's moving. She's not moving. The camera's static. And then it cuts back to moving, and then static, then moving, then static. And I'm like, okay, this is thought out. This is,
Oh
they
yeah.
know this is on purpose. It wasn't just on the day, let's do this. So I'm
Yeah.
watching this going, God, this looks really nice, and the music is good, which is done by his brother Elvis Perkins. And I was this is the movie I should love. I should love this film.
Yeah.
I like A24. I really should love
Yeah.
it. And it just, nothing happens.
Yeah. Well, and see, and that's where I think if we went into this mind frame of, okay, here we went into the movie with the mind frame of, this is going to be a puzzle I have to figure out, not just a movie I can sit down and watch. It's a puzzle I have to figure out, and so I have to be cognizant of every little thing that happens, so I can, figure out what's going on. Movies like, I'm not the biggest fan of movies like that, because if you're watching a movie and you go like, okay, well, actor A shot actor B, later in the movie we see actor B, well, we figure he's going to be pretty pissed off at actor A. Those things are pretty straightforward. This is like, okay, well, it's so subtle, like, okay, well, she started walking with her left foot first, what does that mean? Or she picked that pencil up with her right hand, what does that mean? It's these so like like minuscule little things that you're supposed to pick up on, that add up. And so, people are going to view it different. I don't have a problem with that. I hope anybody that watches any movie enjoys it. But if you know these things going in, it makes it a little easier to kind of get through, because kind of what the game plan is. Uh, but if you're going to do that all the way through the movie, at least give us a payoff that really kind of answers. And now some people go, well, yeah, she was possessed, and you should have known that, because of her possession, she was, doing mind control on Father, whatever his name is, to convince him to allow her to stay because her parents were already dead. And that's where, if this is a sequel, if the Blackcoat's daughter takes place after Longlegs, there is something to be said there, but I don't want to get into Longlegs too much with the comparisons because I don't want to spoil it for you. And now it's funny, you had mentioned buying this movie for a couple different reasons, and my initial thought with Longlegs was, when I walked out, was like, what was that? I was incredibly bored, but it was beautiful to look at. The story was just mind-numbingly dull. But now, watching this, and I talked to Jose about it earlier, and he goes, if you watch Longlegs again, it will go by much faster because things will be making more sense right off the bat. And so, if knowing what we know now after putting all this together, I do think at some point maybe I'm going to have to watch this again, and maybe I'm going to have to watch Longlegs. So I hate to say it, I'm probably going to wind up buying both and watching them again at some point. And this is, it's funny because we're kind of talking about, we're reviewing this movie, where more we are diving in together, kind of exploring it and kind of learning about this movie as we sit here and talk. But I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of this style of movie, but how popular it is, the way people are embracing it, and Longlegs. I feel like as a horror movie collector, it's something I should own. And it's funny, I don't remember if this was on a video or where, but I compared Longlegs to IPA beers. I think people that drink IPA beers know that those beers taste like horse piss, but they drink them because it's the trendy, cool thing to do. So I kind of felt like, well, people that like Longlegs like it because it's the trendy, cool thing to do, right, even though it left the taste of horse piss in my mouth when I walked out of the theater. So knowing I spent $20 on a ticket, $20 on snacks and gas to get over there and everything, I was like, fuck, I'm into this movie for like $60, and I hated it. So, I don't feel that way quite as much now, but there are, people can debate me if you want. You will not change my mind. There are people that watch movies that the movie can just suck or make no sense. People will walk out going, oh no, that movie is phenomenal, you just didn't understand it. No, fuck off. I did understand it. I understood that it was boring as shit, and the director was trying to do something, but he failed at it. Maybe watching this again, maybe this and Longlegs, maybe that will change my opinion. I don't know that it will, but I think I kind of owe it to myself as somebody who likes to sit and review or talk about films. I also owe it to my audience to really fully grasp what the hell's going on here.
Well, so I brought this up with Jonathan. We talked about Beverly Hills Cop 4, Axel F.
Oof.
I hated it, and he enjoyed it. And I asked him, and I put this out to anybody who liked it, do you like it because it's Beverly Hills Cop? Which is fine. If you like James Bond and you like all the James Bond movies, that's fine. But can you admit when something is bad and you still like it? And it's like, are you liking Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F, because of nostalgia? Are you just, oh, it's Beverly Hills Cop, I have to like it, I have to like Eddie Murphy, so therefore it's the best one since the first one, when it's, I even liked part 3 better than that one. and it's something that drives me nuts. So when I see something like, you know, like this, like the Blackcoat's daughter, and I'm just like, I don't get the hype. I don't
Yeah.
understand it. And people were saying that Longlegs was overhyped. It's like, okay, are you kind of like what you were saying? The trailers are saying it's the scariest movie since Silence of the Lambs. Is it? Is it really? Because
Oh, fuck
Silence
no.
of the
The
Lambs
answer
was
to that
pretty
is
damn good.
the answer to that is fuck no, because the scariest movie since Silence of the Lambs, as far as scary, maybe one of the greatest movies since Silence of the Lambs would be X. I flat out love X. It was so well
Great
done.
film.
But I will tell you, as far as scary since Silence of the Lambs, um, The Conjuring, the first Conjuring, when pictures start flying off the wall and shit, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I am fucking on board with this Conjuring, and the Conjuring. Oh, and what are the other movies that are a lot like the Conjuring? The
It was like Insidious.
Insidious. Those are all, some are better than others for sure, but great movies. Some of those are genuinely scary movies. Now, also, I mean, you could say Paranormal Activity, like the first Paranormal Activity, or the second, or even the third was fairly good. Those kind of scary movies. This is not a scary movie. It's a story. And the thing is, Silence of the Lambs to me is not scary. The only, it's like, it is Clarice going to get hurt or killed? How many families are going to get killed? What's going on? How many is, Hannibal Lecter biting the guy's face off? And maybe this just shows that I'm a true psychopath, but I thought it was hilarious. I look at Silence of the Lambs like, not as a comedy, but it makes me laugh all the way through.
Well,
So
I would agree. When he tells the senator, and then, when she tells him to go fuck off, and then he goes, Senator, and she turns back and he goes, love the pantsuit. That's funny. That's funny.
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
meant to be funny. I know you love Silence of the Lambs, but I love Hannibal. I
Oh
love
no,
I actually like Hannibal better than Silence of the Lambs because he's more like a Frankenstein monster or
yeah,
Godzilla. And like near the end when the assistant was gonna throw the what's his face who's in the wheelchair into the pit with the
yeah,
pigs and he doesn't know if he should do it, and
yeah,
Hannibal has the mask and he's carrying what's her face in his arms, and and he almost like he's like the Frankenstein monster or creature from the Black Lagoon. He looks back and says, do it, just throw him in. You can always say I did it.
yeah,
And then the guy
yeah.
throws him right in. Yeah, he's carrying Clarice. And it's stuff like that I love in that film. So to
Yes.
me,
No.
there's a huge difference between Silence of the Lambs and the Blackcoat's daughter. Huge.
Oh, yes. So now, and just to finish off on Silence of the Lambs and the Hannibal franchise, I love everything with Hannibal. I do, and maybe this is a conversation for another show, but Silence of the Lambs is my favorite. Hannibal is my second favorite. Son of a man, it is so hard because I mean, Hannibal, Red Dragon, and Manhunter are really all like a tie for second place for me. I love them all. And then right behind that, even Hannibal Rising is good. But now here is the main difference with this. And this is, if you have seen The Blackcoat's Daughter, and you need to understand, we're talking spoilers here a little bit. If you've seen The Blackcoat's Daughter, we understand there is an exorcism that takes place in this. There is a supernatural entity in the form of Satan, or I mean, this beast that is possessing her, this demon. So this is a supernatural movie, supernatural elements. There are things that are not of this world involved. None of that kind of shit takes place with Hannibal, and that's where I draw the line. Same thing goes if you understand this, and now I tell you the Blackcoat's daughter is in the same universe as Longlegs, you kind of understand where Longlegs is going to go. there are supernatural elements. There are no supernatural elements in Silence of the Lambs. So people that say, oh, it's like Silence of the Lambs, no, I reject that. Longlegs, because it's like Silence of the Lambs, people go, oh, it's Silence of the Lambs. Why? Because the FBI shows up? No, the FBI shows up in a lot of fucking movies. So I reject that it's like Silence of the Lambs because the FBI is there, or it's, you know, there's a detective or whatever investigating murders or something. There are some things that are like, okay, I could, if I'm, you know, just a normie casual fan or whatever that doesn't really dive into horror movies or like to talk about and try and figure out what's really going on with them, oh, maybe I could say, oh, it's kind of like Silence of the Lambs. But no, there are no supernatural elements. And so that's where I get passionate, I get frustrated, because don't fuck with my Silence of the Lambs, don't fuck with my Hannibal. That is, you're in my wheelhouse there. And I love Silence of the Lambs, I love Hannibal, the whole franchise, even the TV show, you know, Brian Cox, all of that. It's great. But now, and it, just to finish on.
What about Clarice? Did you watch Clarice for its 5 episodes?
I did, and it could have been so great if it wasn't a political agenda about how mean Whitey was to black women back in the 1980s. So I did not. I mean, I understand the roommate. Oh, Clarice got the promotion, but it's like, no, bitch. And no, dumb fuck director. If you remember, or writer, if you remember, Clarice got it because she made the connections. She had this ability to connect with Hannibal Lecter. I'm sorry, her roommate, her friend that ended up getting jealous of her, fuck her. She didn't put together. She was not the one that was able to crack and get Hannibal Lecter to cave. So I'm sorry. She got the promotion over the roommate because she fucking did the job. So that was so frustrating, and I wanted to like it so much, and there's no doubt in my mind why that show got canned so quickly. I was disappointed because I was very much looking forward to it. So, anyways, but with Hannibal, the movie Hannibal, because it's about Hannibal Lecter, whereas Silence of the Lambs is kind of really Hannibal Lecter is helping them figure out Clarice and Buffalo Bill and their connection. So I understand, you know, your preference of Hannibal. I won't argue with you on that. But so back to these. Yes, you get the supernatural, you get, you know, which obviously we know now, the possessed is Kat. And so now we go, okay, well, Kat, as she got older, she changed her name to Joan. So now when that same actress, Kiernan Shipka, shows up in Longlegs, knowing that she's already changed her name from Catherine to Joan, okay, maybe she's changed her name again into Longlegs, and maybe that is the same character in Longlegs. So you got to watch Longlegs to you know, to kind of figure to see that. So I won't go too much into that, but
interesting.
At the end of the movie, when we finally get to the sisters, the nuns, whatever they were, getting killed, and heads getting chopped off and blood being everywhere, cops showing up, blood on the wall. When we start to get to these things, I'm going like, okay, this is getting good. But when this switch really flipped for me was when James Remar showed up. I was like, ooh, I love me some James Remar. So I got James Remar's autograph. Oh no, it's way up there. But I got James Remar's autograph on the wall up there on as Dexter's dad. But you know, he should have done a better job getting his warriors to come out and play, because he got fucked up in this movie really easily. But I thought he did a phenomenal job as always. And once he showed up, and it's like, okay, well, let's go to this diner. But then we kind of kept cutting back from Joan to Kat to Joan to Kat, and that's where I was like, are we jumping around in time, or are these two different girls that just haven't met yet, or what? Like, I didn't think they did a good job putting all those pieces together.
Okay, so this is what made me really interested in the film. And I don't think this happened. Two girls must This is from IMDb. Two girls
Okay.
must battle a mysterious evil force when they get left behind at a boarding school over the winter break. That is not what this movie is about.
Yeah.
That is not what this movie is
So
about. But
so
hold on.
I
So
okay,
one
sorry.
last thing. Okay, so this is Wikipedia. Okay, I just saw this. This confuses me even more. The plot is split into three timelines. The first two, Rose and Joan, intercut between each other before a third timeline, Kat, is introduced and compromises the film's compromises. Oh, whatever it is, introduced towards the film's climax. So three timelines.
Hmm.
Aren't the
Yeah.
two girls on the same timeline?
Well, the two girls are they went because they're obviously in the office together, and I would not have guessed a third timeline. It took me quite a while to figure out that there was two separate timelines. So, but the two girls, because they're sitting together in the office, and now talking about the evil entity, and now for me to say the two girls battle the evil entity, I don't think they did, because Kat was possessed. The inclination, or they allude to the fact that Kat is telling Father Dingleberry, whatever his name is, um, that shit, I left the page. But she's telling him, I'm going to stay at the school. And he's like, you're going to stay at the school. And it's kind of like he's agreeing with her because he has no choice, because fuck off, IMDb. Father Brian. She's saying, Father Brian, I'm going to stay at school. He's saying, yes, you're going to stay at the school. So I believe that when this movie started, she was already possessed. And to further my theory that she was already possessed, she knows her parents are already dead because she already killed her parents. So the parents are not coming because the parents are dead, because she was possessed and she already killed them. So the idea that they are battling an entity, it's almost like they should have written Rose is at a school with Kat, who's possessed, but then they give away the whole plot. And then Rose doesn't know that Kat's possessed, but Kat's acting weird, and Kat ends up fucking up Rose and everybody else at the school, and then changing her name to Joan. So yes, that is not worded correctly. It's not really what it is. It's kind of what the movie's about, but I just wish early on, and maybe we should have picked up on this, being that it was like a religious school, so there should have been like a religious element. But I wish, and maybe they did, maybe if we go back and watch it again, there's something in there that will kind of foreshadow the fact that she is possessed, or that there's going to be like an exorcism or something that takes place. But the devil is just with her, because they do this exorcism on her when she's younger, but the devil stands there in the corner, or the shadow, the beast, the demon, whatever, and it doesn't leave. It's still there. So their exorcism doesn't work. But anyways, now that we go through this more and more and more, I'm kind of like, it would be, hopefully not painful. Hopefully watching it again to go, aha. And hopefully there'll be like 52 ahas throughout this movie. Maybe it would be a interesting one to watch over again, like together. Maybe someday we get together and watch them both again, as well as Longlegs, because I definitely need to see Longlegs again. And I do think it would have helped Longlegs. I would have looked at Longlegs a lot differently had I understood, or what was going on, or had seen this movie. So I understand Jose's appreciation of the movie, especially a lot more now, even after just kind of diving into this, for the little while that we've been talking about it now.
Well, and so the beginning of the film, we see the camera pushing in on the snow. We're seeing our lead girl, not Kat, right, Kat?
Kat is the lead. She is
Okay,
the
so
one who's
we
possessed.
see Kat who's in the bed. She's under the blankets. Her face is like pressed up against the mattress. She does the weird back exorcist type of thing. So maybe that's when she's become possessed, because she has the dream where she's with her daddy, which I went, oh, daddy long legs. I'm like, oh. But no, I guess not, because she goes and finds the car, and you can kind of see the hair, and it's a bashed up car, like it wrecked.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so maybe her parents died in a car accident, but they
Well,
didn't.
it says her parents did die in a car accident. Yes, they did.
Okay, so they died in a car accident, and then she's with the priest,
Yeah.
manipulating the priest, I guess. And then Rose comes in, who's a senior. She's like Kate's like a freshman. She tells Rose to keep an eye on her. Rose hasn't heard from her parents,
Yeah.
and Kate keeps saying to Rose, Father Brown said that you're supposed to keep an eye on me. So,
Yes.
like, was this entire thing of her manipulating the priest, I'm going to stay here, him
Yeah.
saying yes, was for Kate to kill the two sisters and Rose to do the weird sacrifice thing down in the boiler room in front of the boiler? Was that the whole
Yeah.
idea?
Some of that stuff I still don't get, because even it carries on into long legs, that who they're it's almost like they just want to kill. They don't care who, but they find a target and they're like, oh, gonna kill you. Uh and maybe it's just wrong place, wrong time. Now, long legs, there is a little more into why it's picking the people it's picking, but in this one, I don't understand why Rose, or why Miss Prescott or Miss Drake. I don't understand why they are the targets. I you know like So I think as they're in the car, and Kat or Joan, whatever she is at the time, I think it was Joan at the time. So it's Emma Roberts in the car with James Remar and Lauren Holly. They're driving down the road, and she tells them to pull over because she's going to be sick, and then she kills them. Um, I think she kills them because they are on the way back to where the town where the school is or whatever, and she needs to kill them so she doesn't get in trouble, because I think she realizes at that point that they're on to her, and then maybe she kills them for that reason. But otherwise, I don't understand the rhyme or reason to these kills. And something, whenever you do end up watching long legs, uh maybe you can explain to me. We get this whole movie, but then the character of long legs, I don't understand why he's in the movie. I don't understand why the movie is called Long Legs. I don't understand where he gets his name. I don't understand anything about this Long Legs at all. I just don't know. But that's a conversation for a different review. But I don't know. I think at some point down the road, I think it would be either we watch them both on our own, and we review Long Legs and this whole universe of Long Legs and the Blackcoat's daughter, and maybe when we have a little bit better understanding of them, would be another interesting conversation. But there are still a lot of elements that maybe we could go Google and figure it out, but there's still a lot of elements, even after talking about it this much, that I still don't understand.
Yeah, it's because even Rose, before she's killed, she looks down the stairs and she sees something down the stairs, and I can't make out what it is. And she's like, oh, and she moves
That's
back.
that's the bag with the two sisters' heads in it. It's covered in blood. So I think she
Oh,
just sees the blood. I don't think we saw that they were heads, but there's two lumps, kind of look like two bowling balls covered in blood in a bag.
okay,
So
okay. I couldn't
those
make that
those
out.
yeah, I put that together that those were the sisters' heads, and I think she just saw that it was bloody and saw the two lumps, and maybe she guessed that that was two heads.
Okay.
So
So all of them get killed off for reasons we really don't know. And
yeah,
then we go into the future, And James Remar's character, he has a wife. I am so glad he didn't end up being a creep. I am so tired of seeing, especially white older men, as being
Yeah.
pedophiles or rapists
Yes.
or creeps, like trying to get into her pants. And
Yes.
there's even at one point where uh um in Roberts, where she Joan, is that her character's name?
Yes.
Yeah, where she hints at something, and it could be sexual. She does say something, and he goes, "Okay, well, there's a restaurant right here. We should go get
Well,
dinner." And then even the wife is supposed to join them at dinner because he says, "Oh, here's her coach. She'll be." But
yeah.
my question. So I'm glad about that. But is it happenstance that
Yeah.
Joan just happens to be at the bus stop and he's there?
Yeah. Well, see, and I kind of feel like they maybe there's another story about James Remar and his wife. So it's Bill and Linda. Maybe there's a story about Bill and Linda trying to track down Kat, Joan, whatever her name is, because they know that she is the one that killed their daughter Rose, because Bill is Rose's father. And so it was interesting that they just happened to run into each other, but maybe there's more story there that we didn't get. But I did also find it very interesting, and I was kind of wondering too, when he knocks on the door of the hotel room and she's wrapped up in a towel, and then they're sitting there having a conversation and she's wrapped up in a towel. It's like, wouldn't she say, hang on a second, I'm going to go in the bathroom and get dressed? But she's sitting
Right.
there wrapped up in a towel. And I was like, huh. But one thing I did notice about this movie that was very interesting, for being no nudity at all, there was a lot of showers and bathing going on. They were like in a bathtub or a shower, like fucking half this movie. And I'm not suggesting the movie needed nudity or anything. A good movie does not. But it was like, why so many fucking showers and baths? But whatever it is, it is what it is. But I did find that kind of interesting that we have her in a hotel room with him. She's wrapped up in a towel, and he has no interest in getting that towel off of her. And at that point, I was like, okay, what's going on with the wife? Because the wife we're hearing about the wife, but we're not seeing the wife. Is something really going on with her? And I started to go like, well, is she this character from Longlegs or something? Uh, you got to watch Longlegs. I'm not going to get into that at all, um, but then obviously we see James Remar, Bill and Linda, the husband and wife in the car, driving Joan and then getting killed. But it is funny, and I am with you about, oh well, he's an old white guy, so he's got to be a pervert. He's his last name's got to be Weinstein, for sure. So it is getting kind of old with that type of stuff. And it's funny, another movie I watched recently, to get on a little tangent here, is the movie God Bless America. Have you seen that Bobcat Goldthwait
Yes,
movie?
a long time ago, and I remember liking it a lot.
So it is a very funny movie. And throughout the movie, the younger girl's like, to the old guy, she's like, well, don't you find me attractive? Don't what you thought about being my boyfriend or whatever? And he's like, just basically, because I'm a killer doesn't mean I'm a like gonna what do you call it, like somebody who does statutory rape and stuff, a pedophile. He's like, just because I'm a killer doesn't mean I'm a pedophile. So that was kind of funny, but it reminded me of that movie when you mentioned the fact that it was interesting, and it would have been an easy way out for them to go like, oh well, he's after this young hot girl, and then maybe finds out that she is the person that killed his daughter. But I kind of think he already knew. It kind of feels like that as they're going down the road and they're talking about going to this place where obviously she is kind of concerned about going with them, that maybe they're gonna do something to her or something, so she kills him. But
Well, there's
um,
a lot with the map. The camera seems to focus on the map a lot, where it has like the different like towns on
yeah,
it. And so I wonder if in some other film or these towns in there, you have there, because the wife, because the James Remar says you remind me of my daughter,
yeah,
which is weird because then when we find out the daughter is Rose, they look nothing alike, as the wife points out. One is brunette, one is blonde. You know, they look nothing alike. I thought, okay, well, maybe the demon jumped into this other blonde, and so that's something there. But it's and the wife seems to not like Emma Roberts' character.
yes. Well, so Emma Roberts' character at that point has the demon in her. She is possessed by the demon. Joan has the demon in her with her. And so I think the reminding him of his daughter, maybe just because of that's how old his daughter would have been, the way she acts, kind of because of being at that school, the religious school or whatever. I understand the kind of you remind me of her, and it's not enough, you know, to where like when Linda, the wife, says, "No, you don't remind me of my daughter." Um, I think that's the mom going like, "My daughter wasn't possessed. I know you're not like my daughter," and and all that. But James Remar's like, sees the possession or something. And I don't know, like that type of stuff. I don't know if that is something that specifically we need an answer to, because a good movie, we do want to walk away talking about it and going, well, what did this mean? What did that mean? Or I interpret it this way or that way. So I'm fine with walking away going, well, why did he say this or she say that or whatever? But when you walk away and you just go like, what the fuck was that? As a whole, that's no good. Um, so I don't know. I kind of understand. I'm okay with him saying you remind me of her, and her and the mom saying you don't. So I think that worked.
I mean, because looking on Wikipedia, it says, okay, so there's the plot, which I read off, and then it says here Rose. So then it talks about Rose, in February, students at the prestigious school. Then you get something about Joan. And then a woman arrives at a bus stop after escaping from a mental institution. So I didn't get that she escaped. I got that she was probably like a mental institution. But it says
Okay.
that she escapes. Then it goes into Cat. So there's a thing about Cat. And then it says down below Cat, it says Joan, the
Yes, because
cat of 9 years later, murders Bill and Linda. She
yes.
beheads their corpses and brings them to the boiler room. Now completely alone, she leaves the academy and breaks down crying in the middle of the road. So it's like, I don't know. I'm still. Oh, wait, here's the thing about the demon. The priest performs an exorcism. The exorcism is seemingly successful, but Kat begs the demon to not leave her before it vanishes.
Hmm. Some of that to me, I mean, some of that's there. I missed the whole her escaping from the asylum, but it makes sense now. She was shot, so she was caught. She was shot, she was caught, went to an asylum because they thought she was crazy, but no, she was really possessed. A lot of that is making sense now, and I some of that I just didn't pick up. I think the problem is when you watch a movie and you're fucking bored, you kind of zone out a little bit and you don't care about picking up on some of these things.
Right.
So, so if it wasn't so fucking boring, maybe we would have picked up on some of this stuff. Maybe we would have cared a little bit more.
Yeah, because I got that there was a mental institution involved, because you saw like the security guys, you saw them that they're like tackling a guy or something. Something was going on there. And I went, okay, so she got out of like some sort of mental institution.
See, I kind of
But I
missed
didn't get
that in a
breaking out.
sense. I was like, this is a fucked up school. I was thinking that
Uh
was a school. I was like, this is a pretty fucked up school. Like, what's going on here? So that's I missed that altogether. But yeah, and obviously I definitely need to rewatch this. Uh, and it's easier to watch stuff once you know what's going on. It eliminates any type of surprise element. But the good thing is we know this movie has like zero fucking surprise. So I mean, if anything, the surprise is, when so she kills the two sisters. Okay, fine. But the surprise is the fact that maybe she actually took the knife and lopped their heads off and took them to this boiler room. So, and what all that was all about, I don't know.
I guess doing some sort of sacrifice, or yeah, I still don't understand the stuff with Bill and his wife. It's just weird that they just
Yeah,
happened to meet up. Like was she
yeah,
on a mission? Like, oh, I killed your daughter, so
yeah,
now I'm gonna have to kill the parents too? Because she
yeah.
does laugh. Like they show her the picture of the daughter, and she
That's when she realizes after seeing the daughter, she's like, oh fuck, you are Rose's parents.
because
This
she
is not good.
laughs in the bathroom.
Yeah. No, and that's what shows you that she's still possessed. Because at first she should be going like, oh fuck, they're gonna catch me. They're gonna catch me. Or they know who I am and they are taking me to they're gonna take me back to the asylum, or they're gonna kill me, or they're gonna they're gonna avenge their daughter. And then so when she laughs, that's when I'm going like, oh, okay, well, Bill and Linda are dead because she's going to kill them now. Because that, to me, that was the crazy, or the demon taking hold and saying, fuck all this.
I definitely think the mom knew something there because she kept telling Bill, "Don't pull over." She's like,
Yeah,
"Don't stop, don't
yeah,
stop."
yeah.
Because
No, it was, and that's what I think they both. I think the mom and dad both knew. They both knew that this was the girl that killed their daughter, and they were trying to take her somewhere to either kill her or take her back to this asylum or wherever. They were taking her somewhere to deal with her. And she picked up on that after she saw the picture of their daughter. But the mom knew, don't pull over because this girl's fucking crazy. And and the dad obviously knew. James Remar obviously knew because he's like, oh, you remind me of my daughter, and like but the mom didn't. Mom said, you don't remind me of my daughter, but I think because the motherly instinct was, well, you are possessed, my daughter was not possessed, so you're not like her. So I think they both knew. I think Bill and Linda both knew that this Joan was really Kat, was the person that killed their daughter. And maybe it made the news. Maybe it made, and if there was any element of that in the movie at all, I missed it. But the idea that she escaped from this asylum could have made the news. And it could have been like, okay, Bill and Linda knew that this was the girl that killed their daughter. So they're out trying to find her to get her back to jail before she kills anybody else. So they could have been just out looking for her intentionally, knowing that she escaped.
yeah, I don't remember there being anything. It seems that Oz Perkins doesn't show us certain things, but shows us certain things. And I know that's weird way to put it. Like
Well, he
we
wants you to
don't.
do the math.
Well, yeah, like we don't hear on the radio, like in the car or anything, like, oh yeah, the Hampton Mental Institution had a break. We don't hear that. But for some reason, Rose takes Kat, I think I'm getting that right, to the senior shower and says, I could get into a lot of trouble for this because she's a freshman and she's not supposed to be there. But what does that add to the plot? How does that drive the movie forward, where maybe us knowing somebody escaped someplace would, but yet, and we never even see Kat in the shower. And I'm not saying for nudity's sake. I'm like,
Yeah.
that could have been a completely different actress. We just hear the water going and she's like, do you need a towel?
Yeah.
And that's it. So it's weird of what he shows and what he doesn't show. And I brought up and I bring that up because when you look, this is a guy, and I'm going to say probably a lot like his dad, who I also thought was a good director. So he's made like 10 movies. He wrote a film called Removal that I can't click on. He was the writer. He wrote a film with Brandon Cranston called Cold Comes the Night.
Well, I've heard of
And
that.
yeah, then he directed The Blackcoat's Daughter. He wrote a film called The Girl in the Photographs.
Hmm.
And then from here on out, he's a director. I'm the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House, Gretel and Hansel, Long Legs, The Monkey, and then there's a new film. Monkey is next year, and then there's a film called Keeper.
Hmm.
So he doesn't, it's not like he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
This is all very intentional. This
Yeah.
is, and us discussing this reminds me of watching Room 237
Oh yeah.
with all the people giving the explanations except for not Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
You know, and them even talking about like Eyes Wide Shut and other
Yeah.
films and all of these messages and Indians and you know,
Yeah.
rocket ships and so it's interesting to talk about these type of films with saying because when the director is not even present, and
Yeah.
it's like we could be totally wrong. Maybe the
Correct.
Blackcoat's Daughter is dog shit.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like, and maybe Longlegs is one of the worst written things ever. It's also kind of like David Lynch. I remember an interview that he did for Mulholland Drive. And the interviewer said, "What is the movie about?" And he's like, "Wow, what do you think it's about? I can't tell you." And I went, "Oh, even David Lynch doesn't know what it's about. It's just a weird ass movie that everybody thinks has deep meaning, and it doesn't."
Well, okay. So now I don't, maybe David Lynch knows, maybe he doesn't know, but I will say it is a thing to make movies or shows and leave the audience guessing and not to explain to the audience, because what does that do? That makes people like you and I go, well, fuck, we got to watch this again. That continues the talking about it. So the best example in television history is The Sopranos. When at the end, you know, we see Tony, Carmela, the kids sitting in the cafe. They're having, you know, dinner. They order their food, and we see the guy come, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Cut to black. Don't stop. Boom. Cut to black. And people are up in arms. What the fuck was that? You know, did the power go out? What's going on? What happened to the show? And David Chase still has never really come out and said what specifically happened. Somebody asked him once, and his response was along the lines of, "It's whatever you want it to be. I've laid everything out for you. You make the decision." But the idea is to get people talking about it, so people want to go back and rewatch it. And what does that do? That keeps the actors, that keeps the directors, the filmmakers, it keeps them all fresh in your mind. And so it keeps them in the mainstream. So I think it's a tactic, and leaving something to the audience's imagination is directly, it is on purpose. And so some of these things they want us to guess. Some of it, I'm sure we could say, okay, there's an explanation. A lot of it, people are going to go, oh, no, it didn't mean that. It means this, or you can debate over it and stuff. But all that's going to do is keep people talking about it. And that's a good thing, especially as far as A24 is concerned, because the movie company wants you to go back, pay to watch the movie again, or just even stream it again on whatever service or whatever. So they're you know, continuing their revenue stream, or keeping you interested in their films. So I understand that going in, but this movie, you know, along with other movies, they have parts that, okay, I can kind of understand why we did this or why we did that, or, you know, this needs to be talked about. But another part of this movie, another part of The Blackcoat's Daughter, that I was just baffled on, why the fuck did we need to see this, was when Rose goes and sits down to get her picture taken, like yearbook photo or whatever. Okay, well, we know everybody in the school goes and gets their picture taken. And did we really need to see her getting her picture taken so that later on, Bill can show Joan, oh, this is my daughter? Like, we didn't need to see that. And why did we need to see her sitting
I'm
there getting her picture taken? I have no fucking idea.
I'm gonna say it's okay. So we see the picture 3 times. There's the original photo when she sits down, and then you see the camera go click, and it like goes to black. She sits, she's very straight faced, and then gives a very fake grin.
Yeah.
Then we see Kate with the photos. They're in the bag that she's most likely that Rose is going to give her parents.
Yeah.
Then we see it later on in the car, and with Joan. But
Yeah.
there is one shot. There's where she sits where Rose sits in the chair, and it's extended, and she normal face, fake smile, camera clicks, and we stay with her, and she's got the smile, and then it just disappears into
Yeah.
like I'm miserable. Like this just sucks. This is awful. And I
Yeah.
think it's to show her character. I think it's to show who she really is, that she can put on this totally fake face and make
Yeah.
like everything is okay, give her parents the pictures. This is what I don't know if they have yearbooks, but this is what the yearbook would be.
Yeah.
But yet on the same thing, she's just really unhappy. She's just a very, unhappy person.
But and is that why, because Rose mentions, that her parents were out of town and she let them know it was the wrong day. They were going to come pick her up, but they were going to be late and they were not going to alter their plans to come get her early and stuff. Is she unhappy because her parents are just shitty parents? Or I didn't see anything else alluding to the fact that Rose might have also been possessed. Was it like like we talked about with Joan in the bathroom? She's in there and she just goes from like kind of like either scared or afraid or just kind of ho hum, whatever she was, into this laugh where we know the demon is like, okay, we're gonna go fuck these people up now. Is there some, is that supposed to be, because there's nothing else in the movie that I picked up on that would suggest that Rose was also possessed? So if she's just unhappy, and we know her parents are kind of shitty parents because they are not picking her up from school on time, but at the same time I think Rose lied because Rose wanted to go on the date with this guy or whatever it was. So I think Rose told them intentionally. So I don't understand, like maybe she was unhappy or whatever, but like I wish we would have gotten more about that. Like why did her face
Well,
go from happy
I
to
think
sad?
I think that she did the fake smile and she knows she's pregnant. And so it goes from the fake smile to this doom face because
Yeah.
she's pregnant. And
Yeah.
and she's got to tell the guy, and her friend at the beginning of the film knows, but she's not willing to tell
Yeah.
Kate about
Yeah.
it. It's like it's none of your business type of thing.
Yeah.
And so it's I mean maybe that I don't I got I got on Jonathan about this in one video where I said I don't like doing theory, but for some
Yeah.
reason this film seems to need theory, because I
Oh,
don't like,
definitely. Yeah.
yeah, like, oh well, how did that person get milk? And then you come up with a whole ton of theories on how they got milk, and it's like I'm only going off of what the screen tells me.
Yeah.
So if all of a sudden in one shot they're not drinking milk and the next shot they are drinking milk, they went out to get milk.
Yeah.
I don't care how they got it. I don't care if they took a bus or a car. They got it.
Yeah.
But for some reason, this seems to be
It,
something where you need to almost do theory. Like,
yeah. No, yeah, you definitely have to form some of the story in your mind as opposed to just watching it and putting it together. I do agree with you on that. It's very, I don't know. I guess watching it again, and in a sense, I'm like, okay, I would like to kind of watch it again, and Long Legs, just to kind of, now that I kind of understand a little bit about what's going on, to be able to clearly understand. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not a big fan of this style of movie, and or this style of story. And do I give enough fucks to actually want to sit down and rewatch them is the hard thing. So maybe at some point I will.
It's going to feel like all day. It's going to. I mean, unless something complete. Like I love a film called The Lodge. Did you ever see The Lodge?
Yeah, fuck that movie.
You didn't like The Lodge?
So
I love The Lodge.
The fact that this dad is just going to leave his kids with the new girlfriend who they don't like, and he's going to go off in the middle of the storm and stuff. Right there, I'm like, what kind of shit ass dad would do that? Their kids hate this woman. You can't force them to like. And if you know anything about kids, the writer probably doesn't have kids. That would never happen. The kids would just rebel, and they would do what they did. They would fucking leave. So they
didn't leave. She murdered them.
Well, but they tried to leave walking. They wound up back.
But... I mean, they play so many horrible tricks on her, and they know that she was part of a cult.
Yeah.
And I bring it up because it takes place in the snow, kind of one location. And she's trying to get along with the kids. Yeah, the dad takes off to town, and they just hate her, and they keep playing all these horrible tricks on her. And then I feel that the kids got what they deserved. If you're gonna fuck around with somebody and you know that they're in some sort of Manson cult, you may not want to screw with her.
Agreed. I get what you're saying there, but at the same time, kids' brains don't work like ours. They haven't had enough life experiences to understand the consequences of some of their actions. So I understand what you're saying there, and in a sense, yes, they definitely got what they deserved. But my whole problem with the movie was when the dad left. If the dad had died or whatever, but for the dad to just go, okay, well, you're going to stay here, and the kids are like, what the fuck?
Well, it's a bonding thing. It's for them to get to know each other better.
Yes, but when your kids already hate this woman, and she's, supposedly they feel like he's trying to get her to replace their mom, that is not going to fly with kids. And so I had a problem with it at that point. But again, there was a good amount of mystery. There was some good stuff going on. The film was beautifully shot. The actors were fine. All that stuff. It's like one of those, there's so many movies that if we just change one thing early on in the movie, it fixes all the problems and we don't need the movie. To me, that's like, if the dad just didn't leave the kids with this woman, we just don't need the movie. And so that's where I'm at with it. Otherwise, I understand, and I really didn't hate the movie, but the idea that the dad left the kids, what shitty ass dad. I mean, and there are shitty ass dads out there, but would do that to their kids, knowing that they don't like this woman. So I wanted to like that movie a lot more. It wasn't boring like Blackcoat's Daughter or anything, but I don't know. It's one of those, like, if we just didn't do something stupid, we don't need the movie. So
I guess not having kids and not being in that situation, I've been on the other end of it, where I'm the guy brought in and there's the mom and the kids, and I'm the stranger, I'm the intruder. And I have had some kids just not like me and just don't talk to me because it's, I'm not their dad. But I'm not a fan of kids. I don't really like teenagers. I think they're annoying. And until you're 18 and pulling your own weight, I really don't care. If you can't get out there and vote or pay taxes or get a job or whatever it is, your opinion really doesn't matter much to me. So it's for them to do what they did to the girlfriend, I thought it was deserved. So
I get what you're saying there. Definitely I mean, if anything comes out of that movie, it's hey, karma's going to come kick you in the ass.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I didn't, and I think I'm pretty sure I own a copy of that. I think I got that up here somewhere, but um, yeah, it's up there. But I wanted to like it more, but just the dad. But and that's the thing with this movie is just with going back to Blackcoat's daughter. There was no point where I was sitting there watching it going like, okay, I don't like this because, but throughout the movie, I'm like, okay, let's get on with it. Let's get on with it. Let's get on with it. And then finally at the end, and I am just a sucker. I want violence. I want gore. I want action. I want pacing. And so movies like this, a lot of times just don't do it for me. And I guess,
It's tough. That's why
yeah,
I think Oz Perkins is not a bad filmmaker. I don't think that this is a bad movie. I just think it's boring as fuck. But
yes.
because he's written and directed other films. He's obviously, watched his dad make movies. He's also an actor. He's been in like a ton of movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
In Psycho 2, he played little Norman Bates. So he's obviously knows what he's doing. And this is,
Yeah.
well, what did you think of the ending with just Emma Roberts kind of just screaming in the street?
So at the end, not knowing what I know now, that Emma Roberts' character Joan was a 9-year older version of Kat. Now it makes sense. Um, because the demon, she battles with the demon. There are parts where that character, Kat Joan character, that person, there are times when she's in control, there's times when the demon are in control. The fact that she did what she did and everything's going on in her life, and now it's like, okay, well, now where do I go? I'm in the street, everybody I know is dead. Like the frustration is coming through. I'm okay with that. At the time, I'm going like, okay, this girl, why is she like, what's going on? Why, like she killed them. What? But who the fuck is she and how is she related to the movie? Because I still hadn't put together that it's Kat and Joan were the same person. Now knowing that, I get it, but I just wish going in that I would have known Kat and Joan were the same person. But I just kind of started when I get bored with movies, I start to just kind of zone out, or I'll pick up my phone and look at something, or I'll kind of listen to a movie and fucking play Tetris or something. And when I get bored, I just zone out. And that's where this movie lost me. If it was so good, the writing's so good and everything, it's got to do a little bit more to keep me in, to pull me in. Now, at the beginning of Long Legs, they do something that kind of is like, oh shit, and it wants to pull you in. But then it's like, okay, now that I got you, I'm gonna lock you in this boring ass fucking room for 45 minutes. Blackcoat's daughter didn't do anything to pull me in at the beginning. It was just like, here's a boring story. I expect you to follow along. There's going to be a quiz at the end, and I couldn't follow along.
Yeah, I
You know,
yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
something I think we should do now. This would be kind of interesting. I think we should rate how we feel about the Blackcoat's daughter now. And my score may be a little skewed compared to yours since you haven't seen Longlegs yet. But I think we should rate it now. And then at some point down the road, after we watch it again and watch Longlegs, uh, we should go back and rehash our scores.
Okay.
Just because I wonder if watching them again will make us go, okay, I appreciate this more, or or screw this movie even more. It gets lower scores. So, but
Yeah,
with
and
that in mind, oh,
yeah,
go ahead.
I plan on I've been collecting directors lately. Like I've been going to Zia Records and or eBay or whatever and buying the entire catalog of filmography of a filmmaker. Some of them are awful. Like I got Guy Ritchie and I bought Swept Away. So it's like fuck. Even Aladdin, but at least that was $1 billion movie. So I think
Ron
maybe
Howard's next.
Ron
Ron
Howard's
Howard,
next.
yeah, you're going to collect his movies next, right?
Oh God, no, I no. I do have a couple of his from actors I like. Like I have Far and
I'm
Away because it's Tom Cruise. I don't think I could ever do Ron Howard because
I'm kidding.
no, because, and a friend of mine pointed this out, I think it's true. When you watch a Ron Howard movie, you're into it. You like it. When you leave the theater 20 minutes later, you can't remember anything.
Yeah.
Like his films are so milk toast
Yeah.
that I don't, that you just don't, like, you remember stuff from a, like, was it Apollo 13 because you know about what happened.
Yeah.
But can you really tell me anything that happened in Far and Away? You know, it's like not really. And I even, that's Tom Cruise, and I can't tell you much. But with Oz Perkins, I'm curious if his other films, even just writing, are like these two movies, like Long Legs and
Yeah.
The Blackcoat's
Yeah.
Daughter. Like, is this his style? Is this what he does? So I'm thinking of picking up his stuff and in between our viewings and kind of revisiting, maybe I
Yeah.
can watch his other films and have a
Get
clearer
him.
idea.
Yeah. Of his style is the stylistic or his style of filmmaking. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. It would be interesting to know. And you know, and if any of his movies, I don't specifically collect by director or whatever. I have a list of movies that I want to get, and you know, anytime anybody recommends something, I'll kind of look into it, maybe decide if I'm going to add it to the list or not. But I don't go and say, well, you know, I might say, well, I want to have a copy of all the Scream films, or have a copy of all the Halloween films, but I haven't gone as far as like a director or anything, because I just, a lot of directors, the scope of some of their films is so different. There may be films that I just wouldn't care about at all. Um, you know, that a director, I'm trying to think of the new, what was that latest? Was it Scorsese, that new movie he did, something about the flower sun, or
Oh yeah, with the Native Americans and the oil and yeah.
I will never give a fuck about that movie. I will never. I'm sorry, no disrespect to anybody. I will never care to see that movie. So I'm sitting here staring at an autograph of, you know, from Martin Scorsese on a Casino poster right now. Love Casino, love a lot of Scorsese films, or Scorsese, however you say it. But I don't think I would ever buy them all. But if you do run across any other um, fucking Perkins, Oz Perkins. I don't like it. This is not Anthony Perkins, but if you run across any other Oz Perkins films that you know, are fascinating, I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah. So yeah. Now on a different subject, since we both collect Funko Pops, did you see that Terrifier Art the Clown has a Funko Pop out, and he has a there's even like an alternate one with blood all over him. Then there's one without blood.
So I'm gonna tell you a little story. Man, not really a story, just my thoughts on the Terrifier. And it's funny because I'm wearing a Creep by Econ t-shirt, because in September is Creep by Aftermath, and they're doing another Terrifier reunion there. So you could go meet a lot of the people from the Terrifier movies, get their autographs, take pictures with them. And they're friendly people. There's nothing wrong with them. I've met them before at different conventions, Days of the Dead. They were there out in Vegas. I am not a fan in any way, shape, or form of the Terrifier movies. I think they suck.
Oh
I
my
hate them.
God. I love part
Yes.
two. And
So
I absolutely love part two. Love
two
part one, but I love part two.
two was better than one. One is just dumb. Again, like going back to my point of one simple fix could prevent a movie from happening. If these two nitwit girls, oh, I got a flat tire because the clown popped tire, whatever. If they just decide, I'm going to go to a safe place and make a phone call, there's a creepy ass clown. I'm not going to sit here and talk to the dude. I'm going to get the fuck out of here. I'm going to go somewhere safe. I'm going to haul ass. I'm going to get away from here. I'm not going to go into an abandoned warehouse, you know, like in a spooky place. I'm not going to go there looking for a phone. So I'm going to get the hell out of here. We would have never needed the movie because he wouldn't have been able to kill
Well,
him.
they were drunk. They
Oh,
were smart asses, you know that. My reason for bringing up Terrifier and the
yeah.
and the Funko Pop and him being a clown is because I do believe that there's a film that should be coming out shortly that has a clown in it that you do like.
Oh, yes. Okay. No.
It's
So yes.
my shirt here.
And we're not talking about Terrifier 3, which should be coming out later this year. But no, Terrifier, not a fan of the franchise at all. That's all I need to say on that. I know people can rip me a new one. I don't care. I don't care. Part 2, there was the clown with the glasses and stuff had me laughing my ass off. But this dream sequence stuff, the girl drowning in the water, and then you knew she was gonna do it. You knew she was gonna
God,
come
she
back.
was gorgeous in that outfit that she made with the wings,
Yeah.
and it was just, oh my God, I
But
love
then
part 2. And it's two and a
then
half hours.
Jesus Christ, I know I wanted to shoot myself in the head. So and then the two girls in the car yelling and screaming at each other. It's like, hey, director, hey, we understand this girl is mad at this girl. This girl's mad at this girl. You had a little bit of screaming, but it goes on and on and on and on. And I was like, my blood was starting to boil with them two screaming at each other. So I just I don't care for them at all. Now I do love a good clown movie. I do love
I heart clowns too.
there's a movie called Stitches that's phenomenal. There's a movie called Clown that's pretty good. There are a couple movies out and another one being made called just Clown Motel that suck, and you don't need to go watch those. But now there's a movie coming up called Clown Motel Massacre, which is going to be fun. It's going to be a cult classic, and yeah, that's a phenomenal shirt you're wearing there.
Yes, and it even has some blood on it right here and here. I
Oh,
don't know if
nice,
people could see that it's red, but it's yeah. So,
nice.
can you explain what this shirt is at all? Because I wore it for a reason. So, what can we let people know what this
Yes.
is?
So I think without giving away too much of what's going on, is that there's a movie coming out that John stars in that I am the executive producer. I am the producer. Uh, there's been a lot of problems with it along the way, a lot of problems with it from the way it was shot, which was wrong, legal issues at the Clown Motel and stuff like that. There's been problems that I've been working to address for years now. At some point soon, it's going to be coming out. In and that particular shirt that John is wearing right there will make an appearance in the film. And the story in general is you have a clown motel that is right next to a cemetery. Haunted or not, you have to watch and find out. But what good would a clown motel movie, Clown Motel Massacre, be without a killer clown? You have to have a killer clown in these, right? Or a killer. Maybe he's not even a clown, but you have to have a killer. And so, but during this film, we see obviously a massacre takes place because it's called Clown Motel Massacre. We see these kids, we see people, we see clowns, we see a lot of things going on, but there are flashbacks in the film where I make a little cameo, and we see John's character at a younger age and different things going on. And one of the flashbacks is kind of pre-clown days for John's character, where he is just kind of fascinated with clowns, but not hasn't kind of become the living clown that he becomes. I don't maybe publicly want to say really where in the film that this will appear or in what context, but Clown Motel Massacre, I am working on it. At this point, one last little scene thing here, and that is what we shot the other day that is going to be interjected into the film with the shirt that you're wearing there. But legality wise and everything, I'm working on getting this film distributed, and I'm 90% sure how it's going to be distributed, but in one way or another, it'll be out soon. And I'm excited. I'm excited for the world to get the chance to finally see all the hard work everybody put into it. It's a fun ride. It's a goofy ride. I honestly, and I can't tell you about the other movies made at the Clown Motel. I don't care to watch them because the guy who made them is a lot of choice words that will get your YouTube channel in trouble. So I won't use them. But I am not a fan of the guy who made those other movies at all. He's just a scumbag for various reasons. The guy who made the other Clown Motels, in my opinion, is a scumbag. No respect for him. We'll never respect him. And whatever. So, but yeah, we're gonna have a Clown Motel Massacre movie coming out, and I'm very much looking forward for the world to be able to see it and experience all the hard work that everybody put into it, and experience the fun story that we were able to put together the best we can with apparently a director who had a different vision than the executive producer.
Yes. Well, and what we shot with this, which you said was, about a week ago now, I would say, was also with Miranda Dudley, who does special effects. She was the special effects artist for Clown Motel Massacre, and she's basically my effects artist and friend. And in every movie that I do,
careful how far you go with that statement right there.
Something happens to her in almost every film that I make that we continue with this as an in joke that really only the three of us will get. But it's intentional. So she's in this too. So it's a little Clown Motel Massacre reunion. And we went up for a day and shot and up in the woods, and it was really fun. So I'm looking forward to having everything come together. From time to time on Facebook, I've posted the picture of me as the clown. But now that's that's been removed from Facebook for whatever reason. They've shut it down, or whatever happened. I got hacked or whatever it is. So so nobody could see those until I'll probably just wait until you release stuff to to.
Do you still have any pictures of yourself? Do you still have pictures of yourself as a clown?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, because I have absolute tons, because I had like Tasha gave different people that were involved with Clown Motel Massacre production. Tasha, Kelly, who else gave me pictures? But I had a lot of people give me pictures from on set, and so I have a ton of. I think Jesse, Paulie gave me some of her pictures. So pictures and video and stuff from behind the scenes. I have a ton of that stuff. So I was going to say, if you didn't have any pictures of yourself as a clown, not to worry, because I have tons of that stuff.
Yeah, I only have, I know I have more than that, because I even took my own pictures when we were filming. But the two that I've put up there are in the room that I was in, and I was sharing it with a couple of people. So the guy who my roommate took the pictures, and so I think there's one of me just standing and then one with a shovel. So I have those, but I know I have a lot more that I think I took. So it was.
Who were you roommates with up there? Do you remember?
I don't.
Were you not sharing?
Ryan, maybe.
Well, Ryan and what's his name were together, and then what's his name felt like he needed to get his own room. I thought. I don't remember. It's been 8 years ago, unfortunately.
Yeah. The film is not shot yesterday, so but it's everybody be on the lookout for it, and you'll see me with this nice mustache in what we just shot. Mustache. So I've decided to keep it and just kind of let the beard grow around it.
There you go.
So it's something to look forward to. So a little, because I don't think there's much more to talk about for the Blackcoat's daughter. So
no. Are you able to? Can I share something with you? Let me.
Yeah.
Host participant screen sharing. it says that you have disabled participant screen sharing. So
Oh.
maybe down at the bottom, you may have to enable something.
I don't know. Let's see
So
here.
at the bottom of mine, I'm seeing like mute, stop video, screen share, summary, AI companion.
There's more. Let's see here. Reset to default whiteboard notes, breakout rooms, captions, stop recording, apps, AI companion,
You're not
host
seeing
tools,
a share screen. Maybe it's in host
participants.
tools.
Okay, there's a lot of stuff in here. So let's see. Chat, rename, unmute, start video, share whiteboard, share notes, share timers. Remove participant, suspend participants' activities. I don't know. Oh, here's here's one that what happened?
Where'd I go? Am I still here?
You're here. We're just
Shit. Where'd I go?
oh crap. I don't know. We're here, but I don't know how to get us back to here. Is that you? I think that's you.
How do I?
There's a cursor that's floating around saying OGP.
I don't know. I don't know what I did. Fuck.
Oh, I am following. So I think this is something on your end.
Huh. I don't know how to make this go away. Unfortunately I'm not familiar with Zoom.
Camera,
more
participants,
chat previews,
chat, share. One participant can share at the time. Multiple participants can share at the. So I'm going to click on that. Host tools. Yeah, I think that's on your.
Well,
oh, there it is. There's me. We figured it out. Yay.
Why? I don't know what's going on here. What are you seeing? Are you seeing you and I and you and you as the clown?
Up on top, it's you and I, and then right below me is me as the clown. Yeah.
Okay. Show small. Yeah. So but yes, there you are as the clown.
That's me. That's me, everybody.
Fresh
8 years
and ready
ago.
to go with the big floppy shoes that were a lot of fun to walk in, I'm sure. But yes, yeah. Quite a clown you were. So I'm going to try and see if I can close that up and go back to
there we go.
Regular meeting. Oh, are we back to normal now? Okay, good. My apologies about that. I don't know what I did.
Little bit of I didn't even know Zoom could do that. So maybe I should play around with this a little bit more.
I'm going to have to go back and watch the replay because my screen went wonky. That was you and I were above each other over here. And then on my other monitor was the clown. And I was like, good thing I didn't have anything else up like a bank account or something that you shared.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun on set there, and very much looking forward to. Oh, here's a funny after picture too, which I don't know that I want to like. I don't know how I would share this again, but this is a great one. Well, you know what? Let's see. Oh, here we go. Maybe this will work. Let's try this now.
That's the other one I have. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's great with all bloodied up with the shovel. That's a phenomenal one. Okay. Did that work right there?
That worked. It worked.
Nice. Okay, great. Yeah, and I have I've got tons and tons and tons of fun pictures that maybe special features, there'll be some stuff there. I'm not sure, but somewhere, some way, we'll get some of this stuff out there after the movie is released. But maybe a slideshow on there would be kind of fun as well.
Yeah.
But,
little behind the scenes type of thing.
I could sit here and pull up pictures from the film all day long, except I got lost and I couldn't figure out how to get back in there. But there's a great picture of you and I in there. Oh, there's a spoiler picture that I don't want to show publicly. A really, really good one of you, you and maybe somebody else in there. Let's see if we have maybe one more fun one of you here, if we can find something pretty quickly here. Sorry. I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but well, anyways,
audio commentary on this would be interesting, but I at least from my point of view, I don't think anybody would want to work with me again who worked on this with what I would have to say.
Oh yeah, well, here's my thing. There are 7 or 8 billion people on this planet. Somebody doesn't want to work with me, there is somebody else. There is and always will be somebody else. So I'm not too concerned about that. Well,
I'm not even. I don't think I'm in contact with almost anybody. I think they're.
I'm really not anymore. Here's a fun one from well, we were watching, like, we had a rap party and we got together and we were watching some of the dailies and stuff. Yeah. So a lot of the cast, not the entire cast, I don't believe, but no, definitely not the entire cast. But a lot of us there. That was a fun night, seeing a lot of the raw footage and stuff. And so Jesse, such a sweetheart, right next to you, and Tasha right next to her, and then Tom over there on the side, and the other side of you, Andy/Randy, the goofy,
my son.
Yes. Well, maybe not. But anywho,
did I just give out a spoiler by mistake?
I think you may have. Yeah, you may have.
Oh shit.
So
I could be lying, people.
We'll see. Yeah, you could be lying. But with him, he is the goofy hotel desk clerk. And I hope that when everybody watches and they see the flashback with you and I, where we learn about William McCroy, the killer clown that owns the clown hotel. When we learn about William McCroy, I hope people understand that is intended to look goofy as a story because of the guy who's telling the story is goofy. So, the flashback scene is very goofy intentionally. So, but it's a lot of fun. So, and then Morgan and
Angela, right?
Angela, I was like, yeah. 2 kids, 1 trench coat is her Instagram. And then Izzy over there in the end. So a lot of fun on this production, and very much looking forward for it to get out to the world for everybody to see. But gorgeous cast. I think we did a good job putting together the cast, and we'll definitely do some videos and talk about it once we do get it out there for the world and let everybody know where to get it, and talk about it some more. So it'll be fun.
Yeah. Oh, and so to wrap this up, I don't think we ever gave our rating for.
No, we did not. We do need to do that. Yeah. So for the Blackcoat's daughter, now what are this is your channel, so you choose the scale. Are we 1 to 5, 1 to 10, letter rating? What are we doing?
1 to 5 is fine, I think. 1 being Dustin Ferguson, and 5 being, who should 5 be? Who do we know that could be?
Director wise, we could go with Tarantino, or we could just say 5 could be. Because we were talking about it quite a bit, could be like Hannibal, Silence of the Lambs, or a 5, a perfect movie.
Yeah, 5. So okay, we could say 5 would be Jonathan Demme then, who did Silence of the Lambs.
Okay, there you go. So, yeah.
So one being the worst, 5 being the best.
Yes. Okay. For me, knowing what I know now and everything, so I guess like a 2.5 would be right down the middle. Are we allowed to do halves?
Yes.
Okay. 2.5 being right down the middle. Um, I'll give it a 3 right now. I'll give it a 3. A little, just because it was really nice looking. The actors were fine. The scenery was fine. Everything was shot very well. There was no flaws with the production. The only flaws lie within the story and it just being boring. So I'll give it a 3, which is slightly better than average.
Okay. I'm going to go 2.5 because I would give it 2, but knowing what I know now, I'm going to give it that extra half. Yeah, good acting, good production, just boring. But since I've not seen Long Legs,
Yeah.
maybe after I see Long Legs, I might have a different appreciation for this, and I could give it 3. But for
Yeah.
right now,
So
it's 2.5.
the interesting thing with your score is 2.5 is what I gave Long Legs, because I walked out going like, well, it looked great. Everything production wise was perfect. It was just boring as shit. The story was lacking. So I gave Long Legs a 2.5. After watching this and maybe watching this and Long Legs a second time each, maybe those scores will change. And I think after watching this and kind of understanding it now, maybe I'll give Long Legs, maybe I would upgrade that to a 3 as well right now. But my problem with this is if I go into a movie, I don't want to have to do homework before. I don't want to have to learn about a movie. I want to go in, sit my ass down in the chair and watch a movie. So for the fact that I had to go learn about these movies to understand them, I will never give this a great score, but it may improve after watching it again. So it'll be interesting to see what we think down the road.
Yeah, we should definitely revisit. So I'm gonna start looking into Oz Perkins films, and then once these become more available, which means that if I get all of his directed films and written films, I do have to purchase this at some point. And Blackcoat's Daughter is out of print, and Zia
It's out.
Records, yeah, Zia Records cannot get it. They have no used copies of it or new. They said it's out of print. So I did find it on eBay, only a few copies, but they were not cheap.
Frustrating. Yeah, that's interesting. And I mean, we are going in that direction where movies are getting harder and harder to find. So it looks like the Blackcoat's Daughter, you could get the Blu-ray from Amazon for $24.99. Or maybe they have a different, oh no, that's a DVD for $17.46. That's a lot more than I want to spend on this movie, to be completely honest.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If I could find it, even just the DVD, I'd be okay for like $10.
Correct. That's
I would
that's
do
the
that.
neighborhood I'm in. Yeah.
Yeah. Blu-ray $12 or something like that, I'm okay with. But even looking on eBay, it was I think there were only like 4 listings and all of them were over $20. So it's like, no, I don't want to do that. So
yeah, maybe. So and now maybe or maybe not. I purchased or rented this Blackcoat's Daughter on Amazon. Cost me $4. Did you find another place that you care to talk about where and how you may have watched the Blackcoat's Daughter? I mean, if you don't want to talk about where you watched it, then don't. But you could just say you also watched it on Amazon for $3.99.
Let's just say I sailed the high seas slightly.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
there's actually, I don't have a problem saying this because it's just streaming, it's not downloading. There is a website that I use that it might be legal, might not be legal. I'm not really sure, but it does have a ton of ads. It says it's legal. It's
It's
and
hey,
I
if
do stream. It's not downloading. So
yeah, if it's out there, and all you have to do is click on it. Like for example, uh, Fluffy, Mr. Phillip, sent me a link to watch Abigail on YouTube yesterday. They had the entire movie of Abigail on YouTube, and I've not seen Abigail yet. I will be getting a copy. I have a friend who has an extra copy given from a like a distributor, and so I will be getting a copy of Abigail. And so I was kind of waiting to watch it there, but it's like, you can watch the whole thing on YouTube right now, and who knows if that link is still up there and working or not. But I thought that's kind of cool. So there are places, plenty of places that you can go watch movies. And if they're out there and all you're doing is clicking on it, you're doing nothing wrong. It's the people that are putting movies out there. If they're putting them out there illegally, that's where the problem is.
yeah, like I don't watch cam copies. I don't do any of that stuff. But if it's yeah, I go to this one
Yeah. Well, and
site
that's what
and I use that for a lot of TV.
yeah.
So like I finished The Boys using that site.
Nice. Nice. Yeah,
So
boys is something I still need to get into. I've heard good things and I just haven't got there yet.
no, it's very political and it's
No, well, no, no, no,
one-sided.
no. Yeah. Oh no. Well, and I anticipate. I expect that. But you know, it is what it is. There's a lot of haters in the world. So for both sides, either way. So, but anyways, yeah, you know, hey, it's been a fun conversation. I've enjoyed being
Yeah.
here, talking about this stuff, and we'll definitely have to do it again with another film or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, maybe you could pick the film and I'll be over on your channel. So we could kind of go back and forth.
Sure. Yeah. No, I'm always doing random live streams and videos and stuff. So, you know, I used to try and keep to a schedule, and I just have so much going on in life right now that I've kind of given up on that. And so, you get what you get. And if you are interested in the conversation, you can always go back and watch the live streams. I leave them up there. And, you know, if there's other movies, like, for example, Twisters came out last week, which I don't care to watch at all. No desire. So I did not do a review on that. But coming out this week, well, we are in San Diego Comic-Con week. I will be there. So there's going to be a video from San Diego Comic-Con coming up. But also we have Deadpool and Wolverine, and which my daughter kind of, you know, like gave me like a birthday present, like dinner and a movie kind of thing. So I'll be seeing that. Nice. But then we're going to have Beetlejuice coming up before too long, and some other movies. I don't remember. There's a few other movies that I was kind of excited about coming. Trap, the movie Trap coming up looks pretty good. So, oh, and then Cuckoo. So, yeah, which they spelled it kind of looks like cuckoo, but whatever. But there's some good movies coming up that I'll be doing reviews on. I'll go to the theater, do a review, put it up there. So, you know, you can look for that stuff as well as just chatting about movies, kind of like in this type of forum.
Yeah. And the good thing about Twisters is it's made a ton of money, which is great. And they say the reason why it made a ton of money, there's no agenda. There's no message. There's nothing about climate control in it. The director has done many interviews where he's basically just said, and he's an Asian director too, that not that that really has anything to do with anything, but he said that he made a movie that is just supposed to entertain. He goes, that's what movies are supposed to do. They're not supposed to have an agenda. They're just supposed to entertain. So he just made an old-fashioned Hollywood disaster movie. And there's a lot of people out there who are angry about that. you know, that are on one particular side of the aisle.
Oh, that he didn't use his forum to push his agenda.
Yeah, and the director's like F off. You know,
Yeah.
so it's great, and I
Okay.
love that. So it's but there's a lot of other stuff too that that's coming up. Where can people watch your material?
Yeah, basically on the YouTube channel. Just if you're looking for me on YouTube, all you got to do is type in OGP, the letters OGP, and you'll find me. So
And I'll put a link
there's
down there
other
below
things,
too.
but you click on OGP, I'm the first one that always pops up. You'll see there. But it is interesting about Twisters because I've heard everybody I know that's gone and seen it did not like it at all. But the audience rating has it over 5,000 ratings, and it has it at a 92%. That is on Rotten Tomatoes. That is an extraordinarily high score. The experts have it at 76%. And I don't know. I heard that the cast is like these younger people, and there's no like redeeming qualities about the cast or nothing that makes you care about them or whatever. So we'll see. Maybe now I'll watch it. Maybe you've talked me into it, but I don't plan on a review because I won't pay for it. I'll watch it when it's streaming or something.
Yeah, I'll probably pick it up if they do a double feature on Blu-ray. You know, one and do Twister and Twisters. Then I'll pick it up. So, but there's other good ones out there that really got no press. Like Into the Storm, I thought was a really good one. That was about Twisters that really nobody knows about. There's also Geostorm, and there's some other ones out there that are pretty good.
Okay, yeah, I don't know that I've seen those.
Yeah, check out Into the Storm. It's fun. It's just Twisters. It's just Twisters destroying everything. So it's
Oh, that's
I
kind
thought
of
it was
cool.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do love a good like apocalypse style end of the world, or just a movie like that. Some are a little tough to get through, but a good one. Like the movies like The Day After Tomorrow, whatever, those type of movies, or Night of the Comet, those type of movies. They're always fun. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. So okay, well then let's wrap this up. And I
Okay.
appreciate you being here.
That was a lot
And
of
thank
fun,
you very
man. I
much.
appreciate
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
And thanks everybody for watching, especially if you made it through to the end. I appreciate
Yes.
that. That's always a
Yeah.
good thing. And we will the royal we I will see you on the next video. So bye everybody. Bye. Bye.
Deuces. See ya.